Proverbs 16. The preparations of the heart belong to man, but the response of the tongue belongs to the Lord. All the ways of a man are pure in his eyes, but the Lord weighs the spirit. Commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. The Lord made all things to suit his own purposes, even the wicked for the day of evil. Every haughty heart is an abomination to the Lord. He will not go unpunished even with his hands folded. By mercy and truth iniquity is forgiven, and by the fear of the Lord men turn from sin. Since a man's ways are pleasing to the Lord, he makes even his enemies to have peace with him. Better is a little with justice, than an abundance of goods with injustice. The heart of man plans his path, but the Lord directs his steps. On the king's lips is the divine sentence, his mouth does not transgress when he judges. The right weight and scales are the Lord's, his work is the weights of the bag. It is an abomination for kings to practice impiety, because the throne is established with justice. The lips of justice are the delight of kings, they will love him who speaks righteous things. The king's wrath is a messenger of death, but a wise man will appease him. In the king's enlightened countenance is life, and his loving kindness is like the cloud of the latter rain. How much better to acquire wisdom than gold? And how much more excellent is it to acquire prudence than silver? The upright make their path deviate from evil, he who guards his path preserves his soul. Pride goes before ruin, and a haughty spirit goes before a fall. It is better to be humble in spirit with the meek, than to share spoils with the proud. He who pays careful attention to the matter will find good, and he who trusts in the Lord will be blessed. He who is wise in heart will be called prudent, and the sweetness of his lips will increase teaching. Understanding for those who possess it is a source of life, but the instruction of fools is their folly. The heart of a wise man instructs his mouth, and increases the teaching of his lips. Sweet words are honeycombs, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. There's a way that seems right to man, but its end is the path of death. The worker works for himself, because his mouth encourages him. The wicked man digs evil, and on his lips there is like a fire. The wicked man instigates strife, and the intriguer separates the greatest of friends. The violent man coerces his neighbor, and makes him slide down bad paths. He who closes his eyes to imagine bad things, by closing his lips, does evil. A crown of honor are the gray ones, when they are on the path of justice. He who is slow to anger is better than one who is powerful, and he who controls his temper than he who takes a city. Luck is thrown into the lap, but all determination comes from the Lord. Proverbs 17. A dry mouth, and with it tranquility, is better than a house full of delicacies and quarrels. The wise servant will rule over the son he shames, and he will divide the inheritance among the brothers. The crucible is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Lord is the one who tests the hearts. The wicked pays attention to the wicked lip, the liar listens to the evil tongue. He who mocks the poor insults his Creator, he who rejoices in calamity will not go unpunished. The crown of old men is children's children, and the glory of children is their parents. Excellent speech does not suit a fool, let alone the prince, the lying lip. The gift is, in the eyes of those who receive it, like a precious stone, wherever you turn will be of benefit. He who covers up transgression seeks friendship, but he who turns things around separates the greatest of friends. A rebuke penetrates deeper into the prudent than 100 lashes into the fool. In truth, the rebel seeks nothing but evil. After all, a cruel messenger will be sent against him. Meet the man with the bear stolen from his children, but not the madman in his folly. As for him who repays good for evil, evil will not depart from his house. As the release of the waters is the beginning of the strife, so, before you are involved, remove yourself from the issue. He who justifies the wicked, and he who condemns the righteous, both are an abomination to the Lord. Of what use is the price in the hand of a fool to buy wisdom, seeing he has no understanding? At all times he loves his friend, and in times of trouble his brother is born. The man who lacks understanding commits himself, acting as guarantor in the presence of his friend. He who loves transgression loves strife, he who exalts his gate seeks ruin. The wicked in heart will never find good, and he who has a double tongue falls into evil. He that begets a fool for his sorrow does so, and the father of a fool hath no joy. A happy heart is like good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. The wicked takes gifts in secret to pervert the paths of justice. In the face of the wise one sees wisdom, but the eyes of the fool wander to the ends of the earth. A foolish son is sorrow to his father, and bitterness to her who gave birth to him. It is also not good to punish the just, nor to harm princes for equity. He who has knowledge keeps his words, and the man of understanding is of precious spirit. Even a fool, when he remains silent, is considered wise, and he who closes his lips is considered to be understood. Proverbs 18. He who isolates himself seeks to satisfy his own desire, he rebels against all wisdom. A fool takes no pleasure in wisdom, but only in manifesting what pleases his heart. When the wicked comes, so comes contempt, and with ignominy comes shame. Deep waters are the words of man's mouth, and an overflowing stream is the fountain of wisdom. It is not good to favor the wicked, and thus make the righteous lose the issue. The lips of a fool enter into strife, and his mouth cries out for stripes. A fool's mouth is his own destruction, and his lips are a snare for his soul. The gossiper's words are like sweet morsels, they descend into the belly. He who is negligent in his work is also the brother of the waster. A strong tower is the name of the Lord, the righteous will run to it, and will be in high refuge. The rich man's possessions are his strong city, and like a wall in his imagination. The heart of man is exalted before being humbled, and before honor comes humility. Whoever responds before listening commits foolishness, that is to his shame. The spirit of man will sustain his infirmity, but who can bear a crushed spirit? The heart of the wise acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks wisdom. With gifts man widens his path and elevates him before the great. He who pleads for something seems right at first, but his neighbor comes and examines him. Luck makes disputes cease, and separates the powerful. An offended brother is more difficult to conquer than a strong city, and contentions are like the bars of a palace. From the fruit of each man's mouth his belly will be satisfied, from the growth of his lips he will be satisfied. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and he who loves it will eat its fruit. He who finds a wife finds good, and obtains the Lord's favor. The poor man speaks with pleas, but the rich man responds harshly. A man with many friends must be friendly, but there is a friend closer than a brother. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and make a comment.